Imagine two people walking through the same city. They shop at the same stores, drive on the same roads, eat at similar restaurants, and participate in the same economy. From the outside, their lives appear remarkably similar. Yet one of them has a net worth of $10 million, while the other has a net worth of $1 million. To most observers, both individuals would be considered wealthy. Both have reached a financial milestone that many people spend decades pursuing. Yet the difference between these two positions is far greater than the difference between someone with $1 million and someone with $100,000. This is the reason the $1 million milestone has become one of the most misunderstood concepts in modern finance. For decades, it has been presented as a finish line, a destination where financial worries disappear and a life of freedom begins. Popular culture often portrays millionaires as individuals who have escaped the financial struggles of ordinary life. Yet the economic reality behind this number tells a far more complex story. The idea of becoming a millionaire emerged during a different economic era. When the concept gained cultural significance, $1 million represented an extraordinary amount of purchasing power. Housing costs were lower, education was less expensive, healthcare consumed a smaller portion of household budgets, and investment returns could stretch much further relative to everyday expenses. In that environment, crossing the $1 million threshold often did create a substantial degree of financial independence. Today, the landscape looks very different. Inflation has gradually altered the meaning of large numbers. While $1 million remains a significant achievement, its purchasing power is no longer what previous generations imagined. $1 million still provides opportunities, flexibility, and security, but it rarely delivers the complete financial transformation many people expect. Part of the confusion comes from the way the human mind processes wealth. People naturally think in round numbers. $10,000 feels larger than $9,000. $100,000 feels larger than $90,000. $1 million carries a psychological weight that extends far beyond its practical value. It sounds complete, almost magical, because our brains treat milestones as destinations rather than points along a continuum. Behavioral economists have long observed that people attach emotional significance to numerical thresholds. These thresholds become symbols. Reaching them feels like entering a new category of life. Yet the economy does not recognize symbolic milestones. Financial systems operate according to mathematics rather than emotions. The markets do not care whether an investor has $999,000 or $1 million. The laws of compounding remain exactly the same. This creates an interesting psychological phenomenon. Many individuals spend years imagining how life will feel once they become millionaires. They picture a dramatic shift in their daily experience. They expect stress to disappear and confidence to arrive automatically. Then the milestone finally arrives, and daily life often feels surprisingly familiar. The expected transformation is smaller than anticipated because the emotional narrative surrounding the number was larger than the financial reality.
To understand why this happens, it helps to examine the mathematics behind wealth rather than the symbolism attached to it. Consider a simple example. Suppose an individual accumulates $1 million in invested assets. If those assets generate an average annual return of 5% after inflation, the portfolio could theoretically support withdrawals of approximately $50,000 per year while preserving purchasing power over long periods. In some regions, that income may provide a comfortable lifestyle. In others, it may barely cover essential expenses. The number itself does not determine financial freedom. What matters is the relationship between assets, expenses, and future obligations. A person with $1 million and annual expenses of $40,000 may experience greater financial security than someone with $3 million and annual expenses of $200,000. Wealth is not merely a number. It is a ratio. This distinction becomes even more important when examining how people adapt to increasing income and increasing net worth. Human beings are remarkably efficient at normalizing improvements in their circumstances. What once felt luxurious gradually becomes ordinary. A larger home becomes the new baseline. A higher salary becomes expected. Better vacations become routine. Psychologists refer to this process as hedonic adaptation, and it plays a central role in how wealth is experienced. The result is that financial satisfaction often grows more slowly than financial resources. As people accumulate assets, their expectations frequently rise alongside them. The target moves. The definition of enough changes. The destination recedes into the distance. History provides countless examples of this pattern. During different eras, society has repeatedly identified certain income levels or wealth thresholds as symbols of success. Yet once those thresholds become common, perceptions shift. What once seemed extraordinary begins to appear normal. The benchmark rises again. This pattern reveals an important truth about financial psychology. The feeling of wealth is partly determined by comparison. Individuals rarely evaluate their financial position in isolation. Instead, they compare themselves to peers, neighbors, co-workers, and media representations of success. Because these reference points constantly evolve, subjective feelings of wealth remain surprisingly unstable. Economic systems amplify this effect. Modern societies provide constant exposure to lifestyles that exceed our own. Through media, advertising, and digital platforms, people regularly encounter examples of greater consumption and greater wealth. These comparisons shape expectations, often without conscious awareness. As a result, someone who would have been considered extraordinarily wealthy in one context may feel merely comfortable in another. The emotional experience of wealth becomes disconnected from the objective numbers. This is one reason why many financial experts argue that financial resilience matters more than symbolic milestones. Resilience refers to the ability to absorb shocks, adapt to change, and maintain stability during uncertainty. A resilient financial system can survive job loss, economic downturns, unexpected expenses, and market volatility. Viewed through this lens, the value of wealth changes dramatically. Wealth is no longer a score. It becomes a buffer. It becomes time. It becomes flexibility. It becomes the ability to make decisions without immediate financial pressure. This perspective also changes how we think about financial independence. Independence is often imagined as a specific number, but in reality it exists along a spectrum. Every reduction in required expenses increases independence. Every increase in productive assets expands flexibility. Financial freedom is not an event that occurs at a single threshold. It is a gradual process. The million-dollar milestone can still play an important role within that process. It often represents years of disciplined saving, investing, and delayed gratification. It may indicate that an individual has built habits capable of generating future growth. The achievement itself is meaningful. The misunderstanding arises when people assume the milestone guarantees a particular lifestyle or emotional outcome. The true lesson is not that $1 million lacks value. It is that the number itself is only part of the equation. Wealth changes opportunities, but it does not automatically transform identity. It can increase flexibility, but it does not eliminate uncertainty. It can provide security, but it does not guarantee fulfillment. Understanding this distinction allows us to see wealth more clearly. Instead of treating financial milestones as destinations, we can view them as markers along a much longer journey. The goal is not simply to reach a particular number. The goal is to build a financial system capable of supporting stability, freedom, and resilience across changing economic conditions. And when viewed through that lens, the most important question is no longer whether $1 million is enough. The more meaningful question is whether the financial structure behind that number creates the life it was intended to support.